Welcome back to the shop in Western Pennsylvania, and I'm about ready to talk about putting the computer brain in the Suzuki Boulevard. But first, what happened was yesterday the wife and I decided to cut a tree out here, cut it down, and it's on our property and been there for years. So we cut it down and we're cutting it up. The neighbor over here started hollering. He's hollering, call me. So I went up and he said, "What'd you cut my tree down for?" I said, "That isn't your tree, it's on our property. Our property's on the other side of the road we own." And he's, cause we mow it, sometimes he would mow it. It was like whoever mowed first cut it. So, you know, we never said, "That's my property, it's my tree." But I know I have a map on it, and that is our piece of property. We have a strip up through here. So he got pretty mad about it, and he's saying it is his tree. And I said, "You better check the map. Get one or I'll show you mine." And he got mad and went in. Well, his wife come out and she's upset because, you know, she wants us to get along. And I said, "Well, the stinking tree's my tree." I said, "I have a right to cut it." I said, "I'm telling you, you know, if he thinks different, he can go to court, take it to court. I don't care, because I just don't like the thing here. I want to be able to see out." I decided to cut it down, so I ain't worried about it. Well, he's not talking to me, so, and you can see out here where we cut it down. You can see the pile of limbs there, and the limbs there, and the stump is right there. So I go to cut it, chainsaw won't work. I've been having trouble for it starting. So got on YouTube, ordered a coil. Then I looked, you can get a coil for about 10 bucks. Well, for 20 bucks, you can get a coil, air filter, the tube that goes in for the gas pickup, and the gas clunk in there that picks up the gas, and a carburetor, a brand new carburetor. So I told Lois, go ahead and order the $20 job, because you get all that with it, you know, and it'll take care of it. But she has one of those that it's electric. It was advertised on TV, where you put it on the limb and you push it in and the blade cuts it and comes back up. Thing worked great, man. We did it fast with that. Then the big piece that was left, when I cut it, I just used an old axe we have, and I sharpened it and cut it. April Fools. The story about the chainsaw is true, but the tree, what happened was, it is their tree. There was so much rain and wind. We had wind here the other day, and I was over there talking to my neighbor, and we're looking over, and he said, "Yeah, that tree's dying." Well, it's leaning perfectly away from us, and the bottom roots are up. Well, from over there, it looked like the bottom branches were dead. So I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I'm going to have to get somebody to remove it and that." And so I walked over, instead of coming straight over, and I had walked right past it and didn't see it. I go right here, it's right there. I went up to my son's house. He was out front, and my wife. So I walked up there and we're talking. I looked down, that tree's like this. I said, "Holy man, that's what it is." It wasn't branches, it was the roots coming up. So the other day, Lois and I got together, and I said, "You always want exercise, there's exercise." So we cut it down and got the stump still there and this and that. So I'll probably wait for, you know, to get my chainsaw on that, but I think they want to get somebody to, you know, get rid of it. But I told them I have a pile back here, I'll put it back here and burn it, you know, wait till it dries. That pine, it was a pine tree. Gotcha. Okay, on with the bike. Let me reset the camera and talk about putting the computer in the bike. Put the computer brain in the bike, started it up. It was idling good. I had to set it a little bit. Went up to the mailboxes. The FI light come on. I took it around the road. It started revving up again on the idle. Didn't take care of it. So what do I do from there? I read and read and read in the book, and they said, checked everything on my carb, everything you can check. Now the carburetor, this is an old one, that sets in there like that so that the throttles are on this side, on your left. On the right here, well, if you turn this throttle, you would be like you're sitting on the bike. If you turn it around, there's a unit right here, and you can notice that they say it sets at a 20-degree angle. It has to be set at a 20-degree angle. And the screws that hold it in take a star bit, but they're a security screw. And what that is it's a star bit that will go in there if it has a hole in the middle of it. It's a security bit you need to get this off. And they say, do not remove this. If you remove it, they say or if you go to put a new one on, they say in the book, you have to get this, or your bike, take it to the shop and get them to initiate this unit if you take it off. So, I don't know. I never heard of something like that. But in this box over here, I believe, they said don't take off. I did know what it was. I got it marked here. Okay, that's the STVA, secondary throttle valve actuator. They say in there in the book, do not take this off. You can't buy it. You have to buy it with the throttle body. I have no idea why. It has the sensors, sensor on it for setting it, but do not take this unit off. So there's 2 units you can't take off, you can't test. So they said with this, to initiate it and all about that, you need a SDS tool. The dealer will have it. He has to have that to do it. I'm like, what is that? So I look it up, the SDS tool. It looks like a scanner for a car. And what it is from looking at them, I think what it does is it does diagnostics. It's almost like the one you buy for your car, only that one, it comes with a DVD to explain it, but that one seems like you put it in there where I put that cable, the dealer, to put it in dealer's mode. You plug it in there, then what it does is it reads everything. Then you can take that unit, they give you a cord to plug it into your computer, and you got all the readouts of everything. Now, when I ride this and it doesn't run right, the FI light comes on, but there's no code stored. I check it right away. It doesn't store a code. And it's like, well, I don't understand why not. It's not running right. But apparently you need that SDS tool to find out what's going on. It shows everything. So there's 2 options left. Take it to a dealer or buy that scanner. The scanner isn't cheap. And so it's like, well, you know, a lot of bike shops around here, the owners, I don't know how much they know. The workers, they seem like kind of towards old school way. You know, they didn't go to school for it, this and that. You really need a top-notch Suzuki dealer to take it to. And we have one out here. I've heard some stories about it, one way or the other. I wouldn't like taking my bike there. It's the closest one. And the security bits, you can get them at Harbor Freight. I got this set a good while back, and what I'm talking about is, you can see that's kind of like the tool for it, but it has a hole in the middle. Because this carburetor, that screw in there, it has a little peg comes out the middle, so you can't put a regular bit on it. It's really not a, is it? Yeah, I think it's a star bit with a hole in the middle. I have some of them in here, but that's a security bit set. So this ain't no good anymore. I could pull this off and see what what it looks like and everything, but they say, like on the bike, don't take it off because you're going to need to get it initialized again, whichever that contains. So that's where I'm at now. I got it all back together. And another thing, when I ran it up and down the road. It didn't run right. It was terrible. It changed nothing. Then, I don't know why, just before dark, I thought I'm going to take one last ride. Well, it got pretty cool. It was chilly out. Put a coat on and that. Started up the road. I figured it's going to do it right. It didn't do it. I went up the old road, down the new road, back and forth, back and forth. That thing runs so smooth, never missed or nothing. I mean, it was running great. I come down here, pulled in the garage, or in the shop here, shut it off, and I waited a while, and I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll try it again. Maybe something happened. Started out the road, got up here, same thing. So it's like, when I come in and shut it off, there's no water going through it, the engine isn't running, no air going over the radiator, so it would naturally heat up some. I pushed it back out there and went to go, well, it's still warm. So I don't know if being cool, there's no thing comes up. I think you have a water thing on that too, or it should put a coat in there that's getting hot. But I could not believe it, how I went out that one time. I went up and down this road, I mean a good ways, 3 times. Up one, down the other, up one, down the other. And it ran perfect. It was like brand new. Then right back to where we're at. So what I'm going to do is, I think we get a nice day. I'm going to move this bike out, bring the Harley over, then put this in the back here, and I think I'm going to get my Harley. I have new oil and an oil filter it needs changed. The transmission needs changed oil, and I think I'm just going to go with it for a while, let this set and see what happens, you know, and think it over. Because I got some more studying to do in there. But there's things like that you just can't check. That's why I got another computer for that, because you can't check it. And I thought, man, that might be it. Just don't know. It's unreal, unreal. And the way everything's going now, you know, I don't know if the bike shops are open, if they're servicing things or not. I'd have to call if I find one. And you know, how am I going to get it there? I don't have a truck. So I got to consider that. But I've been doing a couple other things, and what I have been fooling with is this. This is an old wrench I found. That thing was so rusty, you couldn't even hardly tell what it was. I knew the shape of it, but it was bad. And it's really had a hard life. I mean, it's old. And then the gap don't go together here. So I don't want to heat this top part. It looks like they put so much pressure they bent this. It looked like it might have had a wooden handle the way it has a hole here, but not up here. I don't know if it had a wooden handle or what. There was nothing around it. Like, I don't understand. But it's really unique. So I thought, instead of, if I heat this and try to bend this, I ain't going to get it. So I thought I'll just close it up and see if I can get a plate in here and weld on this top part or the bottom. Weld it to get these two surfaces back to where they go up flat against each other. And just, you know, put it on like here, weld it. I could even grind it like at an angle then if I, you know, I could weld this all up and do it, but that's a lot of fooling around. Telephone. So have a good day.